there may be times when you want to share your calendar outside of your domain or outside of your organization. So I want to talk about publishing a calendar either to a website or sharing it via a Google site or something like that. So to start off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new calendar. To do that, all I have to do is come over here and click on this little down arrow right by my calendars and click on Create New Calendar. And I'm going to say, we're going to call this Jeff's basketball schedule. And we're going to take, and I'm not going to add a description here, but I could if I wanted to. But let's say I want to share this with my parents so they know when the games are coming up. Notice it already picks up my time zone. And then I'm going to work down a little bit further here. And this is a real important little check mark here. I want to share this calendar with others. And notice one of my first choices is that I can make this calendar public. So I'm going to click on that. And you'll notice I have a down arrow here. Now, some of you may experience this. I didn't turn this on in my admin panel because I wanted to show you how to do this. And when I say make this calendar public, notice it says see only free and busy times. When I click on that, that's the only option it gives me because in the admin console, that's not turned on. So I want to show you how we go about doing that. I'm going to take you into the admin console. The admin console is where we can administer the different apps within the Google Apps domain. If you have a personal Gmail account, you're not going to have to worry about this. But based on the feedback I got from the class, a lot of you are part of a domain. So your school has an admin console. Your IT person is the one who administers that. But just to kind of give you a glance behind the scenes here, I'm going to come up and click on my admin console. I've opened that and I've logged in here. So this is what it looks like when you get into the admin console. I can get into my users and profiles and things. For this, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the apps here. So I can get in and I can manage apps and settings. And because Calendar is one of the main apps within the Google environment, it's going to be under your Google Apps. So I'm going to click on that and notice that Calendar is the first service that shows up in the list. Now notice just real quickly over here that it's turned on for everyone. So within Google, the Google admin panel, we can turn things on and off, turn different applications on and off. And notice here I say on for everyone. I can turn it off or I can turn it on for some organization. So this is how your admin person will turn off Gmail for maybe your K2 kids, or you might turn off, say, Google Plus for everybody in your organization. It all depends on how you have that set up. I'm going to click on Calendar, and then I'm going to come down here to the sharing settings, and that's going to get me to this setting right here where it says external sharing options for primary calendars. Now right now you see that only free and busy information is turned on. So if I click on this, what it's going to do is it's going to share all that information, but outsiders cannot change the calendar. So I'm not giving outsiders the ability to change unless I were to come down here and check either one of these two. Now notice right now for internal sharing options, we can share all information. This is where the video calls piece comes in. Notice it's automatically adding that video call. And then Calendar Labs we'll talk about a little later. Now, one of the only issues that I'm facing here is that sometimes these changes take up to 24 hours, so I'm not going to be able to show you exactly how that works. But once I have those changes set up, I'm going to click here. It's going to save those settings, and then we're going to head back to our calendar. Now we're back in our creating the new calendar here. And so we're back to our share this calendar with others. Now we made that change in the admin panel. And now once I check this, what you'll notice is that I have another option, which is see all event details. So the reason we're doing this is because if we share this with the world, we have to give them permission to do that first. So I'm going to make sure I say see all event details because I want them to be able to see the games and who's playing. It might be the A team, B team, those types of things. And I can also come down and I can say share with specific people. So if I have an individual, maybe have an assistant coach I want to share with, the administrator, the AD, somebody like that, I can go ahead and add that in there. And I might also take and say, all right, these guys can make changes and manage sharing because they may have to add games and those types of things. So once I fill all this in, I'm going to create that calendar, and that says, first off it's saying I can make this, this is visible to the world. Are you sure? Yes, I am. I'm going to click yes. And now, down below, I should see my calendar. Now that I have the calendar sharing set up, I'm going to come over to my calendars. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to throw out here an event, b-ball game. We're going to edit that event, and we're going to say that that is not an all-day event, but rather that's a 4 o'clock event, and that's going to go until 7 o'clock, and we're going to say at target range. And put that in there. Notice it pulled up. It actually tried to pull up a map piece there, and I'm going to actually label this just DR away. All right, so I'm going to save that event there. Again, one of the other things I want you to notice is I can just actually click on this event here, and if I go to edit this event, I can also change the event color. So for example, if I don't want that to be the color that I've selected for that particular calendar, I can come out and I can make that red so it's a little bit, stands out a little bit more here. So again, and I can also choose it right up here in the top. So if I want to change that, I can change that look and feel. Now let's talk about sharing this calendar. I'm going to come back up to, or come back down here to my calendar, and I'm going to click on the down arrow, and I'm going to click on calendar settings. Now this share calendar is really for sharing with the interdomain and with individual people. Calendar settings takes me to a different place where it allows me to embed this calendar. So notice down here, so it's towards the bottom, it's the first real tab here. And if I come down here, it's an embed this calendar. So it gives me this iframe code. You don't really need to know much about this iframe code. It looks kind of scary, but it really is not a big deal. A couple things that you may want to just keep an eye on. The width and the height. So if your page, your web page isn't large enough to accommodate 800 pixels, we can take this number and we can jack this down a little bit. So I'm going to change this to 600 just right inside here in this code. Now if I didn't want this code and I wanted to customize the color size and other options, I can click there and I can title this. Here's what it's going to look like. I can change the pixel size over here again, and what it does is it just continuously changes this code up here. So if I want to change my background color and say, all right, let's make this black, just like so, and I can tell it what calendars to display. Do I want to give it a border? Yes, I do. So I'm going to change that, change the time zone. So I have a little bit of functionality here. The other thing I can do is change it from a week or from a month to a week or an agenda view. Once I have that, I click on Update HTML. I then come here, and I'm just going to copy that entire piece of code there. So I'm going to Control C or Command C, depending on what you're on. Now I've got a page set up under Beyond the Chalk. So we're going to go to that tab, and what you'll notice is that this is just a standard WordPress site. I'm just going to come into a standard page. I've called it Google Calendar. I'm going to click in here, and then I'm just going to do a Command or Control V. It throws that into this page. Notice I'm on the text view, so or the HTML view. If I go to the visual view now, it's going to say, yeah, there's something there I can't show you here. I'm just going to have to update it, and then once I update this piece, I can now go to the Beyond the Chalk site and do a refresh, and notice that Jeff's basketball schedule is going to show up here. There's the black background, and there is there's the calendar there. So it's fairly straightforward, fairly easy. Now, I want to show you one more piece here. You can also do this in a Google site, and in a Google Sites it's even easier. Again, the key is that you make sure you have your sharing set up right. So I come to a page, notice I have my teacher site here, and let's say I want to just throw my calendar right in here. In a Google site, all I have to do is go to Edit Page, and I click over here on Insert. It has all my Google products, and notice that one of them here is Google Calendar. I come through, I find Jeff's basketball schedule, I select it. It tells me, okay, what's the height, what's the width, and I'm going to make this, I'm just going to let it do 100% of the width. Here's my views, a little bit different look and feel, but when I click on Save, it's going to throw that in. And when I click and save this page, there's my schedule embedded into here. Now that's shared with the world. So super easy to publish your calendar either on a website, on a Google site. and share it with the world.